Hi, this is Katie. My apologies to those of you who came on at 1 looking for this video. I am not live. This is recorded because Zoom decided to not work with my computer today. So today we are going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about a fun technique that you can use with your Stamparatus or whatever stamp positioning tool you have. And we're also going to say a loving goodbye to some of my favorite product. So take a minute and let me know if you've had a chance to see the retiring list. And if so, do you have any questions about what is retiring and about the availability of that retiring product? Or leave me a crazy face if you're looking at this, listening to this, and going, well, retirement, what the heck is she talking about? But we have a catalog that's retiring the end of this month. This is the current Stampin' Up! Catalog, and the end of April is when this one retires. All right, today I am going to be using some retiring product. Actually, I'm going to be using a product that retired a long time ago, too, in today's project. So let me turn the camera down and we'll take a look. First thing we're going to do is to use this cute stamp set here. I love these little zebras, and I just love the way he's kicking up his heels, and we even have a kicking up your heels sentiment to use in there, and I don't know, they're just like little baby zebras with big faces, and they're just cute. So anyway, this is one of the products that I'm going to be using because I wanted one more chance to use these little guys. Second, do you guys like flower punches, little flower punches? Flower punches are just such a quick, easy way to add something to a card. And this flower punch has been around for a while, so this is retiring. Now, actually, there's another punch that has a strawberry, and it's a strawberry builder punch with many things. It's got a little flower in it, actually smaller than this one, but that punch is going to stick around. So we will still have a small flower punch that we'll be able to use. The next retiring product I'm going to be using is this one right here. This is the fine tip glue pen, which some of you, we've been engaged in a conversation about using the fine tip glue pen. I'm not sad to see this go because a very similar product is staying in the catalog, and so we'll still be able to do what I'm going to show you on today's card. We'll still be able to do with that other product. This is kind of like crystal lacquer. And so the other product that's staying in the catalog is this one that's called Shimmery Crystal Effects. So we will still be able to do it. It's just this one is a really cool, very tiny applicator pen. And so I'm going to use that for today's project. And then the other product that I'm using that retired a long time ago was the 1/4 inch hole punch. So this one is not unique to Stampin' Up! I mean, you can get a 1/4 inch hole punch at any office supply store. But you know, a lot of the product that Stampin' Up! Has and retires is stuff that's fairly unique on the market. So a couple of things to know real quickly about the retiring stuff. First of all, that the catalog is retiring the end of this month. Second, that the product now is available only while supplies last. And then the third thing is that you can see all of that retiring product, just, focus on what's retiring online, and there's the link to it. Now, this is a video. You can stop the video and see copy the link down if you need it. It's bit.ly/Stampin' Up! Retiring with no punctuation in there at all. But yeah, if you do buy Stampin' Up! Stuff, take some time to go browse through there and look at all that stuff that's going and see if there's anything that you really want to get before it's gone. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about today's project. Let me show you, to start with, the materials that we're going to use. So let's talk about the layout to start with. I got more parts here than what I need. So I'm going to be layering things this way in terms of color. See if I can kind of pull this in so that you can see it a little bit better. So we're going to be looking, it's going to be black, petal pink, then the old olive, and then my images are going to be on the white down here. Normally, I put quotation marks, normal framing is going to be a 1/4 inch. I wanted something that was going to show off the colors a little bit differently than what you see with these square framing. And I also wanted something that was going to match the playfulness of the zebras with them just kicking up their heels. And so we're going to do a different layout today. It's going to look like this. And I have my black framing piece. Then I'm going to bring in my pink one, normal, square. My white one is also going to be normal, square, but I'm going to put the green one askew, because by putting it askew like this, it's going to get me it's going to have more of the playful look of those little zebras kicking up their heels, and I think it's going to show a little bit more of the green than what it would have. Anyway, that is the plan in terms of the layout. Now, let's talk about the image that's going to go on here, because that's where the Stamparatus trick comes in. So here is another card that I did earlier. We're going to add a little more color to it than what you see on this one. And I kind of trimmed it down after I cut it because I decided to do this wonky layering askew, and I ended up cutting off part of the words. I wasn't real happy with this one, but it shows you the direction that I'm going. I want to put my words just making part of the frame for the image down here. Aren't these guys cute? I just love them. Okay, so in terms of using the Stamparatus, so one of the reasons for using the Stamparatus is because these are red rubber stamps. There's no way, just looking at it, that I would be stamping 4 times, right? Because it's 2 separate stamps, the kick up your heels and the happy birthday. So to stamp the happy birthday twice, the kick up your heels twice, red rubber, and me get it lined up straight on the page 4 times, that was not going to happen. So I wanted my Stamparatus to keep things in position. The second thing is, these 2 stamps are fairly close to each other, and I was afraid because the red rubber goes out past the edge of the letters. I was afraid that that red rubber was going to bump into each other if I tried to put the 2 of them next to each other on the plate. So it just worked out real nicely to do this kick up your heels and that happy birthday and then switch my paper around. So let's see how quick and easy that goes. I know ahead of time exactly where I want my paper to be to get the image I'm going for. And that's why I really like working on grid paper. And of course you can use graph paper. Stampin' Up! Sells the big grid size sheets. We also sell the little small grid size pads that would fit right in your Stamparatus, just so you know. I gotta get this lined up here before. Too much talking and not enough thinking. And I had a smudge on my paper, that's why I turned it upside down. Alright, so I'm going to ink up both of these and try not to wiggle the table here. Oh, look at that. Didn't that turn out nice? Now all I have to do is rotate my paper. Love it. Isn't that fun? All right, so now we've got our frame on here created by the sentiment itself that's going to reinforce the square of the image, and it'll look really nice on top of that wonky askew for the coloring labels that we're going to get. Okay, now we need to add our zebras in here. And I wasn't thinking about where things were arranged on my desk, my filming desk here, when I set up the plates. I'm going to take this one off just to have it out of the way. And this is the one with my zebras on it, but I mounted this on the top one, so we'll make it work. I can just rest it right there and then go ahead and ink my little guys. I hope I got good coverage. That was challenging to ink it when it was straight up in midair, but you know what? With the Stamparatus, it doesn't make any difference, because if I didn't like how much ink I had, I could always come back and add more. I might do that just to make them really dark. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get my Stamparatus out of the way, and I'm going to get my ink pad out of the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these layers together next. So the plan is the black one is going to go on just like normal. Pink one is going to go on like normal. Green one is going on askew. And And of course, I can drape it over the edge not only of the pink, but also over the edge of the black because this is framed on the white card. Okay, then I can come back with this guy. To get this one framed, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to frame him square with a pink card. So let's pull this down into the view a little bit more. Now, if I run my fingers over this, I hope my ink is dry, but I'm just going to go from the back to press it down, make sure that it's all secure. Okay, now our little guy needs to be dressed up just a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is add a flower, and I want to show you a little trick that we can do with a flower. I want to show you two things that I'm going to do with a flower. So I've got a piece of scrap, same color. This is old olive left over from a different project. I'm going to grab part of a flower in green because my flower today is going to have some leaves. Oops, take the cover off. So let's just cut and keep two of these leaves. Well, they were petals when it was a flower, but they're going to be leaves now. A little bit of adhesive on here is going to go on the back. I'm going to do something else on this guy. I'm going to give a little bit of dimension. I'm just going to use the edge of my bone folder and distress the paper a little bit. It's going to add a little bit of curve. I know that going through the post office when I mail this thing, that it will lose some of that curvature. See how those petals just kind of curve up a little bit? And that's okay. It'll get flattened in the mail, but once somebody takes it out of the envelope, the paper will remember that it was distressed and it'll pop up a little bit like that. Okay, because I want the petals to be up and just the center down, I'm going to use a small glue dot down here for my adhesive. And we're going to put this right up on top and cover that ink smudge, which I don't know if you can see, but it was bothering me, so we're going to cover that up. Okay, so next thing, let's talk about the center. And for the center, I think I've got a bunch punched already here. So I've got some black centers. This is a good size to use for the center of that flower. So if you have that small flower punch, definitely a 1/4 inch circle makes a great flower center. Sometimes I would punch these out of like gold glitter paper or silver foil. They make real pretty flower centers. But I thought the black on here was a great contrast for that light pink and just for the black and white issue with the zebras. Okay, so there we go. Then I felt like, well, maybe it needs a little bit more. So I did bring in, I came prepared to do a little bit of coloring. I'm going to come back and color his ears just a teeny little bit of splash of pink. And that just helps to balance the color across this project because it is so very black and white in the middle. Now there's a couple of other things that I could do. I came prepared, but I've decided last minute that that's not what I'm going to do. I came prepared with my Smoky Slate Light blends to come and color the zebras, which is what I did on this sample card. But this sample card, I don't know if you can tell, I also went over it with a Wink of Stella. And I tried on another sample beforehand, and I really think that that's just exactly what it needs. It just needs to have a little bit of sparkle on here. So I'm going to come back and color. Does that show up for you guys? Oh, can you see the sparkle on there? It's so cool. And you give somebody a card where part of the image is just covered with Wink of Stella. It's very subtle, but boy, does it drag their eye right to that main focal point. So we're just going to make both of these guys all sparkly. And then I'm going to show you two more things that I want to do to bling it up just a little bit. So let's go back and fill in this guy, get him all sparkly. This Wink of Stella pen is such a quick, easy way to add some extra subtle, very subtle, eye-catching focal points to your project. So that was quick and easy. And yeah, I think you can see the sparkle on there. I can on my screen as I'm taping this. Okay, we're going to do two more things. So this one, I sometimes don't do this when it's going through the mail because it does add lumpiness to it. But I am going to come back and put on some black matte dots. Now those black matte dots, they do have actually quite a bit of height to them, but I found a way to put some padding in an envelope when it goes through the mail, and then I don't have to spend extra postage on it. I don't know if you ever find that you have to spend extra postage when something has the lumpies in it. But these things come two different sizes, and so I'm going to take one of the big diameter ones, and I'm going to add that red on top, my black circle in the center of the flower, and then I'm going to come back and just add a couple of other just random ones down here. It's black and white, and I just felt like it needed a little bit more, ooh, that came off, a little bit more black interest on it, something else to just make your eye look at these playful little guys and feel like they were kicking up their heels and kicking up a little bit of dust. So we'll put one more maybe right over here. All right, and then if you were looking at all that retirement stuff that I showed you in the beginning, and you're keeping track, you may be thinking, well, wait a minute, where's the fine tip glue pen? Because I certainly didn't use that to adhere the parts together. So let me talk to you about what this does and why I say that it functions the same thing as crystal lacquer. Now this product that's staying in the catalog is called Shimmery Crystal Effects, and it has a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of sparkly stuff in the glue along with the glue itself. But really, the fine tip glue, this is crystal lacquer, and it does the same thing. I'm going to show you a project that I did with it. And there's actually another reason for showing you this project. But if you look real closely at the boots, let's see if we can just zoom in here and look at these boots. See the sparkle and the shine and how they look wet? And if you ran your finger across it, it would have a softer, plasticky feel to it. All I did was stamp the boots, because they are stamped. I think you can see the lines on there. And then I cut them out with the scissors, and then I just covered the whole thing with the crystal effects, with this fine tip glue. And when it dries with that real fun shimmeriness to it. So one of the reasons for pulling this sample out to show you what the fine tip glue pen does is because this is a special card. Ready? This is a fancy fold. It's a wiper card. So as you open and close it, this mechanism goes up and down. At least it does if you do it correctly. I actually was playing around with some samples and I glued this the wrong way. So I glued it facing the wrong way. So anyway, it doesn't want to go down by itself, but look at that. Isn't that cool? It fits flat in an envelope. Somebody gets their envelope, they pull it out. Ooh, we get that little wiper thing going up. And guys, the reason I'm showing you this, totally ulterior motive, is because I do a fancy fold class and the wiper card is our April card. Okay, so let's come back and get on point. Oh gosh, that was a bad pun. On point as in the point of the applicator, but on point as to why we're showing this today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this fine tip glue and I'm going to just add a teeny, I'm going to start from, I'm right-handed, I got to start from the left, a teeny little dot on his eyeball. Just a tiny little dot. And you might not be able to see this, but I will show you one that's dry as soon as I finish getting this one done. So the hooves of a horse or a zebra are all shiny, and the eyeball will be a little bit shiny. It just adds, again, that tiny little extra touch where when somebody gets the card from you, they're looking at it going, oh, how'd you do that? They just look at your card and then they go, wait a minute, and they have to look at it again. Now, what I do with my fine tip glue pen, I keep a Kleenex handy and I wipe off the end and then I squeeze it real gently just to make, you see what I'm doing with my fingers, to make sure that I have gotten rid of all the glue that might be up in the applicator tip, because what I don't want is I don't want this thing to get stuck glued in there. Boy, I gotta turn it so I can see. I was trying to turn it so the camera can see, but I need to turn it so I can see. There. I just needed to have light on it. So yeah, I love this product. Here is one that was already done. And let's see if we can look at those eyeballs. See that eyeball on the left? And on the right, I didn't catch the light on the one on the right. Oh, there. See? See how, and look at the hoofs. See how that shine on the hoofs down there? This is just a really fun little extra thing that you can do on a project that makes it special. All right, I do have one more zebra card to show you. Let's see, we'll pull this back so you get the full effect of this. So here is my other zebra card, and it is also a wiper card. Isn't that fun? I just love these little guys. I'm so sorry that they are retiring because they've been a lot of fun to play with. All right. So guys, I feel like we talked about so much stuff today, but I do have 4 things if you'll stick with me for a quick summary. Number 1, if you liked the fancy folds that I showed you, I do have a fancy fold class. Every month you get a kit with the parts to make the fold, and then you get access to a website where you can see me just talk completely about the construction and how you can use that fold with your own designs and your own supplies to make all kinds of additional samples with that fold. And this month the fold is the wiper card. Second thing, a quick reminder that that catalog is retiring. So if you think that there's anything that you are wondering, you've been thinking about getting, and you're wondering if it's going to stick around or not, definitely check out and see if it's on the retirement list. And if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me a comment. Question. If you want help placing an order, I'm happy to help you place an order. You can see all the retiring stuff online. It's just real easy. It's bit.ly/Stampin'Up retiring. And then 2 more things. I don't know if you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up. People join for a variety of different reasons. Truly, most of the people who join because they just want that discount, and then after a little while and paying attention to what other demonstrators are saying, they realize that they can turn their hobby into a money-making hobby and end up not spending quite so much themselves, but still get as much stuff as they want. So if you have any questions about it, shoot me a message. I'm happy to have a private conversation with you. Or you can just check out that link right there, bit.ly/join Stampin' Up with Katie, and you can spend $99 and get $125 worth of stuff. That's a 20% discount right there, and every other purchase you make going forward is going to be 20% off of your product. We do have a pretty active community that you would become part of when you join with me. That will just have conversations about how you can turn your hobby into a money-making hobby. Want to know one more little thing? Demonstrators have been able to order from the new catalog already. And anyone who joins in April, you also will be able to order from that new catalog this month. So, thanks for being here. I know that was a ton of stuff. Please give this a thumbs up if you found it useful information, and share it with anybody that you think might appreciate seeing the project or hearing about the Fancy Fold class. Thanks for being here today. Sorry it wasn't live. We'll see if we can get it better next week. Have an incredible week, and we'll see you next Monday at 1.